We are approaching the end of the second quarter. We don't have any new topics. We don't have anything new to show you. That's the reason I wrote this plan here. And yesterday, most of you agreed, but if you have anything, any comments, or any complaint or any suggestion about this plan, let me know. The week from December 14, yesterday, to Friday, December 18, we're going to use to catch up and boost your grades. If you have 90%, you can boost your grade to 100. If you have 70%, you can boost. You can get an A, you can have more than 90. It's up to you. But if you still have a few assignments missing, you still don't have a passing grade, that's going to be the chance. Every everything that you do this week is going to be to help boost your grade. It's going to be extra credit. It's never you're never going to have a chance of lowering your grade this week. Never going to have this case when you do something and your grade goes lower. Okay, I will elect a few. I'm going to select a few lessons and assignments to be reviewed, and then I'm going to review, and those will be work like extra credit, more points for you. Students can suggest previous assignments, previous quizzes that you're still working, you still need to submit. I can help you out. And all work that's submitted is going to be to improve, to raise your grade. Never will lower your grade. And sometimes I've been asked, but what about if I work this quiz here, I have a good grade. If I work this quiz and I have a bad grade on the quiz, this is going to lower my grade? No. Anything that you submit, anything that you work this week is to improve, is to raise the grade. Never going to happen to the case of lowering your grade. And this is the plan. Let me know if you think it's a good plan, if you agree, if you think, yes, I'm in, count me in. Take some time to send my message and comments on the plan. But if you agree, let's work on it, okay? I want to share the work that we have done yesterday. This is the quiz that we have worked yesterday. This is December, yesterday 14, but also October 20, okay? October 20, both. Is a review from October 20. If you want, if you didn't have the chance to work yesterday this quiz, you can take a picture. You have 100% of the answers here, all the answers, so you can have 100% of the quiz of December 14. But if you didn't submit the quiz from October 20, you still have this one missing or unsubmitted. You also can use the same answers for the quiz from October 20. You can double the chances to have a good grade here, to increase your overall grade. Okay, take a picture or a screenshot and let's move. Today we will work on the October 26th. October 26th quiz. It's a review. It's about evaluating functions. The first part is a few functions will be given and you have to plug in the value for x. The examples here, if find f of t, that means x equals t, you plug in t into the function, you're going to find the answer. See? This is kind of straightforward, easy, but we will work each question together. And the next part of the quiz, today's review, is finding function values from a graph. You're going to be given a graph and a few questions about this graph. To find the answers, you're going to search, you have to understand, you have to interpret the graph. and find the right answer. That's it. That's what we will work today. Okay, let's move. Let's go ahead. Any comments about the plan? Anyone have any suggestions or complaints, or you didn't understand the plan, or anything at all? Or you agree, you think it's a good plan? No comments? This is a review from October 26, but this is also the quiz from December 15, today's quiz, okay? December 15. First part, consider the functions defined by f of x equals 6x minus 2, and let me highlight the functions here with colors. F of x equals 6x minus 2, g of x equals negative 4x plus 1, h of x equals 7, and k of x equals absolute value of x minus 2. So we have these four functions, and we need to evaluate, we need to find the answers by plugging in the value of x. Let me do this thing just to organize my work. I want to split it here. Let's split the screen, split the space. All right. Starting with letter A. Any questions, type here in the chat box, okay? And give me feedback if you're following, if you're understanding. The first thing you have to do here is we know that what's inside the parentheses is going to be x. So x equals a plus b. Inside the parentheses is x. And we will have to plug in this value of x into the function. And the function h is this one. H of x equals 7. This function f(x) is a special function. We call a constant function, because it doesn't change. No matter the value of x, it's always going to be 7, because we don't have a variable here, see? It's just 7, that's it. No matter if x equals 1, x equals 10, x equals 1000, x equals a plus b, h of x is always going to be equal to 7. That means h of a plus b equals 7. That's the answer. For this one, this is an easy one, right? It's a constant function. It doesn't change. No matter the value of x, is always going to be the same number, the same value. Okay, next one. Letter B. Any questions about the first? Letter A. Let's move to letter B. F of x plus h. So we will change x into x plus h. We're going to plug in instead of x, we're going to write down x plus h in the function. And the function is this one, this. F of x equals 6x minus 2. Okay, this is the function that we're going to work on. Plugging x plus h into x. So change here. Let's work this. F of x plus h equals 6. Wait a minute. 6 times instead of x, x plus h minus 2. And that's it. Now you just have to simplify, get rid of the parentheses by applying a distributive property. Okay, f x plus h equals 6x plus 6h minus 2. This is the answer. Okay? Next one. Next question. Letter B is this. Letter C. Try to, let me see if you know how to answer this one. Type here in the chat box, what do you think is the right answer for this? We're going to substitute x by negative a, and the function is the same one. F of x equals 6x minus 2. So we're going to substitute, we're going to change x by negative a. Do anyone knows the answer for this? How can I work this out? How can I do this? You plug in x equals a into the function. What would you find for f of negative a? Does anyone want to guess? Type your guess. Type your, what do you think is the right answer for this? Or how can I start with the next step? Let me give you a hint here. It's going to be 6 times what? Instead of x, negative a minus 2. That means the answer here is going to be f of negative a equals what? 6 times negative a, negative 6a minus 2. That is the right answer. Okay, now help me out. Help me with this next one. G of negative b. X equals negative b. Okay? And g of x, let's check here. Negative 4x plus 1. Negative 4x plus 1. To find g of negative b, have to plug in and change negative b into x. We're going to change x by negative b, make x equals negative b. So help me out here. What's the next step? What do I have to write here to change, to plug in? So help me. Jada, Raymond, Danara, Adriana, and let me see who else is here. Help me, Laura, Jorge, Jan, Doriani, Angel. What do you think is going to be the next step? What do you think is the next step here? G of negative b. Do you know? You don't know? The negative is negative positive, 4 times g, 4b plus 1. That's the right answer. Thank you, great. That's the right answer, 4b plus 1. Next, x equals 5y. F of x is the same thing as 6x minus 2. So plug in here 5y instead of x. So you're going to multiply. It's going to work. F of 5y equals 6 times 5y minus 2. F of 5y equals 6 times 5, 30, y minus 2. This is going to be the answer for letter E. For letter F, x equals 4w, and g of x equals negative 4x plus 1, right? Plus 1. Negative 4x plus 1. That means g of 4w equals, so change x by 4w, negative 4 times 4w plus 1. So g 4w equals negative 4 times 4, negative 16, times w plus 1. This is the right answer. Okay, we finished the first part. Check this out. All the answers for the first part, we're done. Now we can work on the next part, the second part of the quiz. Okay, let's move to the second part. Now I have to check the graph and find the answers for the questions. The graph of y equals fx is given. F of x is this graph. Find f of 0. And let me tell you something. The first and the second questions are kind of easy, because you're going to have just one answer, only one number to answer each question. The third and the fourth questions are not as easy, as straightforward, because sometimes you have more than one answer. So let's check the first and the second one. Easy. Find f of x, of x equals 0. So here you have x equals 0. Go to the graph. X equals 0 is here. Draw a vertical line and find the intersection of the graph. The intersection is this one, right? This is the intersection. The coordinate of the intersection is y equals 3. The y coordinate is y equals 3. That means that f of 0 equals 3. Pretty simple. Now the next one. Find f of x equals 3. Everything that's inside the parentheses here is x. That means x equals 3. Go to the graph. X equals 3 is this one. Draw a vertical line passing by x equals 3. This is the vertical line. Oops. And the intersection is that point right here. The y coordinate of this intersection you can find is y equals 1. That means f of 3 equals 1. See? The first and the second are kind of easy. Now let's try the third question, the fourth question. Third question, for what values of x is f of x equals negative 3? Let me clear this. Now we have f of x, or y. So y equals negative 3. Check the y-axis here, negative 3. And I have to find x. It's the other way around, okay? So you're going to draw a horizontal line and find the intersection. This is the intersection. The x-coordinate of this intersection is going to be negative 3. Okay? That means it's just by coincidence. X equals negative 3. It's just one. On this situation here, you have just one answer. But the other one, we might have more than one answer. Let's check. Because you have only one intersection. Okay, next. for what values of x is f of x equals 3? Now, let me erase this. Let me clear this. Now I have f of x equals 3. 3 is here. Oops, what is this? 3 is here. The same thing, draw a horizontal line and find intersections. This horizontal line, and we have one intersection, two intersections. See? We have two intersections. And the answer is going to be, we have two numbers, two x's, x equals 0 and x equals 2. For letter J, we're going to have x equals 0 and x equals 2. And this is how I'm going to answer if you have more than one answer, separate by comma. X equals 0, comma, x equals 2. Okay? Now try to help me on the next one. Try to help me at least with the first questions that are easier, okay? I'm going to wait for your help for the first two questions that are a little bit easier. The first two questions, find g of -1. So go to the graph, find x-axis, x equals -1 is here, find the intersection, and then the y-coordinate of this intersection is going to be this point. What's going to be the y-coordinate? What's going to be the y-coordinate here? What's going to be the y-coordinate of this point here? This intersection point? Jim, thank you. Yeah, positive 2, positive 2. Here is positive 2. See? Positive 2. That's right. Now the next. Find g of 1. Go to the graph, find 1. 1 is here. Find the intersection. This is the intersection point. And the y-coordinate of the intersection is going to be y equals 1. Right? Great. Thank you, John. So the first one, y equals 2. Second one, y equals 1. Now the next, third and fourth questions. Again, they're not difficult questions, but you have to be careful because sometimes you're going to have more than one value. For what values of x is g of x equals 3? So find here g of x equals 3 on the y-axis. Find 3. 3 is here. Draw a horizontal line and find the intersection. We have only one intersection. And the x-coordinate of this intersection is this. X equals, it's going to be only 1, x equals 2. In this case, this situation, we're going to have only one intersection. Now let's check n. n. For what values of x is g of x equals 0? So let me clear. I'm going to clear this. And let's find, this is g of x equals 0. Draw a horizontal line. How many intersections are we going to have? How many intersections? We have this one. Is there any other intersection? We have one intersection. Is there any other intersection? What do you think? Remember, when you have the arrow means this graph goes on and on and on, all the way to negative infinity or infinity. Okay? So pay attention. When you have the arrow, means the graph doesn't stop there. The graph goes on and on and on. And if you check, this means we have an intersection here. See? This is going to be an intersection as well. So we have two points, two intersections for n x equals -3 and 5. -3 and 5. Two points, two intersections. And let's move. Any questions? Let me know if I'm going too fast or if I'm going too slow. Thank you, Jen. Next graph we have here, help me out, it's the first two, the easiest ones. Find h of -3. h of -3, go to the graph, find the x-axis, -3, then the intersection, and then you're going to find the y-coordinate of this intersection. The y-coordinate is going to be right, perfect, 3. Same thing, find h of 3. 3 is here, x equals 3 is here. Find the point in the graph, the intersection of the graph, and the y-coordinate of this intersection is going to be y equals 4. Great. So y equals 3, y equals 4. Easy. The two first questions are kind of easy. Now let's work on the next third and fourth questions. Let me clear this up. For what values of x is h of x equals 3? Now let's go to the graph on y, find 3 and draw the horizontal line. And check this out, you're going to have two intersections. One intersection right here, another one over there. Yes. Okay, we have two intersections. X equals -3, x equals 2. For Q, let me write here Q. X equals -3 and 2. And there's an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. Letter R. Very interesting. Check this out. It's very interesting because for what values of x is h of x equals 2? Now we're talking about this point here. If we draw a horizontal line, the intersection is going to be the whole segment of line. This whole segment here. This whole line here is going to be the intersection. See? It's not just one point. It's not going to be 2 points. It's not going to be 3 points. It's lots and lots of points that are between -2 and 1. On this interesting situation that we have here, we need to use interval notation. We need to use interval notation to represent the segment of line. So x starts on -2, goes all the way to 1, and we have to use the brackets here. That means interval notation. It's all the interval between -2 and 1 inclusive. Yeah, we are almost finishing. Yes, we have time. Now let's move to the last one. Help me out, help me with this first question, at least with the first questions that are the easiest ones. Like I'd say the easiest because you're just going to have one value of y for each value of x on these first questions here. Find k of 0, k of 0. Go to the graph, find where x equals 0, and find the intersection of the graph. And the coordinates, the y coordinate of this intersection, the y coordinate of this intersection is -1. Now help me. Great. Thank you, John. Now the next one. Find k of -4. Look at the graph. -4 is here. This is the intersection with the graph. Then find the coordinate. The y coordinate is going to be 3, right? Only one value for each. This is the definition of function. Again, definition of function, you're going to have for each x only one value of y. But for each y, you can have more than one x. That's the reason for questions, the third and the fourth questions, you can have more than one value. Great. Clearing and working on letter U. Letter U, for what values of x is k of x equals 0? So 0 is going to be here. Write down the horizontal line, and we're going to find 1 intersection, 2 intersections, 3 intersections. 1, 2, and 3. See? That means for letter U we have 3 values. 3. X equals -1, x equals 1, or x equals 3. Now letter V. And letter V is also, there's a catch on letter V. Let me show you. Letter V, there's a catch. And for what values of x is k of x equals 2? Find 2. 2 is here. Draw the horizontal line through number 2, through y equals 2. Okay? And looks like we have 2 intersections. We have this one, and there's this one. But the catch is, on this point, this is an open dot. See, it's a blank. It's empty. It's an empty dot. And an open dot means it is empty. It doesn't have any point here. The graph, the point doesn't belong to the graph. That means the graph stops, ends a little bit before it reaches the point. So this is going to be an empty point. If this is empty, you don't have a graph. We also don't have a point here. So no, we're not going to take into account this as an intersection. First one. So only this first point is going to be intersection, answer, and the x is equals to, for V, x equals -3. Well, we finished. What if it was a circle? If the circle is full like this, is a closed dot, and yes, then it's going to be an intersection if it's full. But if it's empty, if it's blank, is an open dot, it doesn't count as a part of the graph. It's like having a hole. See? It's like having a hole here. This is a hole. It's empty. And this, when it's full, is good. You can is a point that you can count on it. And if it's empty, it's kind of a hole. It's nothing. It's a nothing. Okay, let me zoom out so you can see everything that we have done. This is going to be all. This is all we have done today.